Joining us now is criminal defense attorney Michael Gottlieb. He is here to help us break down these latest moves on both sides. You know, Michael, the Trump team sees this as another victory. The majority of voters have clearly seen through the weaponization of the legal system based on how this election turned out. What are your thoughts? What does this mean for this case moving forward?
First, thanks for having me on. You know, the way I look at this in a non-political setting, in any criminal case, when a defendant appeals, they appeal the judgment of conviction, so whether or not he was guilty or not, and then the sentence. So we're really in an unusual position because President-elect Trump is being given the opportunity to appeal based on a Supreme Court ruling that may or may not provide him relief for the acts that he was accused of committing and found guilty of being presidential acts, and therefore giving him immunity. If they don't sentence him now, he'll get another bite at the apple for an appeal if and when he's sentenced in the future. I think the proper procedure, and that any other defendant would be subject to, would be to sentence President Trump now and then stay the proceedings until after his term has ended.
Yeah, so Michael, you know, last week Judge Merchan agreed to grant that stay on all deadlines associated with Trump's conviction. That includes the original sentencing date of November 26, which we are quickly approaching. But now the prosecution is saying that sentencing could be pushed all the way until after his second term. I mean, we're talking January of 2029. So if it does get pushed out that far, I mean, do you think realistically that any judge would actually pick it back up at that point?
Excuse me. I think the problem with that is, you know, what if, God forbid, something happens to the judge? What if he's transferred? What if he becomes ill? Then you grant new appellate grounds. And the appeal that's supposed to happen now is the judgment and conviction. So, and I know it would be highly unusual in a case of first impression, but the sentence doesn't necessarily have to be prison time. They can sentence Trump to numerous things. It should be a sentence now and then stay everything, giving Trump the opportunity to appeal that judgment and sentence of conviction to an appellate court. And if they overturn the whole thing based on immunity, then so be it. But he should have one appeal, just as any other defendant would have, and one sentence, just as any other defendant would have. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
You know, Michael, with that being said, this is interesting. So Trump's team now looking for ways to obviously get this case dismissed. That's what they're saying. While the Manhattan DA is firmly opposed to that decision, could this possibly mean that this delay signals that the judge is considering dropping the charges? Does that even come into play here?
No, I don't believe so. I don't think the judge, first of all, I don't think the judge has the legal ability to drop the charges. The charges are brought by the people, and Trump was convicted. The appeal is based on whether or not he acted in his capacity as president at a point in time that he wasn't president, and therefore should be shielded with immunity. That's the sort of a narrow issue as to this appeal. He can then later appeal errors at trial. You know, if he brings out errors at trial, then maybe the judge would say, you're right, I'll dismiss the case based on those errors at trial or give you a new trial. But the judge does not have the right to dismiss the case at this point in the proceedings.
All right. Michael Gottlieb, thank you so much for giving us that context. The saga continues. We will continue to watch it, and we'd love to have you back. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.